Heavenly Father, for this beautiful day. We thank you, Lord, for bringing us together for this faculty development program. We thank you for blessing us with your wisdom, knowledge, and understanding for the past 3 days. Father God, we continue to surrender space for into your hands. We commit our program and all the participants who are here. Fill us with your wisdom, knowledge, and understanding so that we could learn the maximum in each and every session and each and every concepts. Be with us, Lord. Continue to lead us, guide us, guard us, fill us with your blessing, and with your knowledge and strengthen us. We trust in Jesus' name. Your name be glorified. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I invite Krishnan sir, PG, Assistant Professor, PG and Research Department of Commerce, to provide the welcome address. Kindly speak, please, sir.
Yeah, good evening to everyone. Warm welcome to each and every one of you to the fourth day of our faculty development program on advanced techniques in research methodology organized by PG and the Research Department of Commerce at Patrician College of Arts and Science. Today marks yet another significant step in our journey towards enhancing our research skills and capabilities. And I am delighted to introduce our esteemed resource person, Professor Joshua from Madras Christian College, with his vast expertise and profound knowledge in the field. We are privileged to have him guide us through the advanced research technology. As we deeper into the remains of research methodology, let us remain open-minded, engaged, and proactive in our learning. Let us seize this opportunity to enrich our understanding and refine our methodologies, thereby contributing to the advancement of knowledge and academia. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all the participants for your dedication and active participation throughout this program. Your commitment is truly commendable and serves as testament to our collective pursuit of academic excellence. Once again, a warm welcome to the Professor Joshua and to all the participants. May today's sessions be enlightening, productive, and inspiring as we continue to evaluate our research endeavors. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, sir. We are honored to have Dr. B. Neena, Associate Professor, PG and Research Department of Commerce, among us today. She serves as a guiding light of knowledge and inspiration within our academic fraternity. Now I invite Meena ma'am to felicitate the gathering.
A great evening to all, dear Dr. T. Unica, coordinators of this program, Dr. T. Vaidegi and Dr. A.V. Chalamal, and our great resource person of this today's session, faculty team, research scholars, and participants. It's my great pleasure to extend my heartfelt appreciation for the successful organization of the 7th Day International Faculty Development Program on advanced techniques in research methodology. My first appreciation to Dr. D. Unica, your exemplary leadership and unwavering dedication have been the guiding lights throughout this endeavor. Your vision to enhance research methodologies globally has paved the way for an enriching and insightful program. To the coordinators of the program, Dr. T. Vaidegi and Dr. A.V. Chalamal, I express my sincere appreciation for your meticulous planning and tireless efforts. Your dedication ensured the seamless execution of each session, facilitating a conducive environment for learning and growth. Our esteemed faculty team and research scholars, your expertise and scholarly contributions have been invaluable. Your passion for research and commitment to academic excellence have truly elevated the quality of discussions and learning outcomes. I extend a special thank you to Mr. Joshua, Assistant Professor from Madras Christian College, for graciously accepting our invitation as the resource person of this day. His expertise on Sem Modeling on SPSS added immense value to this program, empowering participants with practical insights and tools. Last but not least, I thank and appreciate each participant for your active engagement and quest for knowledge. Your enthusiasm and dedication have been the driving force behind the success of this program. Together, we have not only expanded our understanding of research methodologies, but have also fostered a community of learning and collaboration. Let us continue to strive for excellence and innovation in our academic pursuits. Thank you once again to everyone involved for your invaluable contributions and commitment to academic excellence. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your thoughts, acknowledging the achievements and contribution of our esteemed faculty and guests. Now I call upon Dr. R.N. Luriarasan, Assistant Professor, PG and Research Department of Commerce, to introduce our chief guest for today's session.
Good evening, everyone. It is my honor and a privilege to welcome our resource person for the day, Mr. Joshua, Assistant Professor, PG and Research Department of Commerce, Madras Christian College, Chennai, Tamil Nadu. He completed his Master of Commerce MCC College in the year 2020 and passed the UGC NET in 2019. He has 4 years of teaching and research experience at Madras Christian College. He specialized in statistical software like SPSS and AMAS. Mr. Joshua has published 15 articles in peer-reviewed journals and has participated in more than 10 national and international conferences and seminars. He is also a member of the core team for the Ranking Committee for India Today, The Week, and Outlook, and serve and editorial team for the newsletter committee at MCC. We are delighted to have such a wonderful and eminent speaker ready to share his knowledge with us. I extend my best wishes to all the participants to make use this opportunity for their career development. Now I can hand over the session to our resource person, Mr. Joshua. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It is with immense pleasure that we welcome Mr. W. Joshua, Assistant Professor from MCC College, as our distinguished resource person. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. I hope all of you can hear me.
Yes, sir.
I think I am having a little bit of a disturbance in the connection. So if I'm not audible at any point of time in the presentation, please tell me.
Sure, sir.
First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Durayarisan for the wonderful introduction that he gave me, and then Monika ma'am and Meena ma'am, and also Vaidegi ma'am for inviting me to talk in your faculty development program. Once again, last week, I think last month we had another program. So it's been wonderful to come back here and then talk to you again once to all of you. So without further ado, I think I can go directly to the presentation. I hope all of you can see the screen which I've shared.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So today what I have planned is, today actually I told ma'am that I'll be talking about this particular concept which is called SPSS almost. Mostly we would have heard of SPSS, the software of SPSS we would have heard. But almost the software where you are a little bit different from SPSS, where from the analysis of SPSS, from the data that is there in SPSS, from the analysis that you do on SPSS, almost is a software where it gives you a structural development of what your variables are, what your independent variable and dependent variable, and all those things. So last, I think college conducted a FDP previously, where I was talking about the moderating variable, mediating variable, and all those variables. In this particular FTP also, you would have seen how to prepare your data for analysis, and all those things you would have studied. Now today what we're going to do is, we are going to learn what is SPSS almost, what this software is all about, as this is an SPS, this program on advanced techniques in research. So we'll be learning about almost first, and then we'll do SEM analysis in Amos. SEM analysis is nothing but a structural equational modeling. So you create a structure for your research. So that is what you're going to do in this particular session today. And then we are going to see what is the mediation analysis in that SEM analysis. So SEM modeling is just preparing a structure. So under this structure, there are many kinds of analysis that you can do. You can do path analysis, you can do mediation analysis, you can do moderator analysis. So there are many kind of analysis that we can do. So in order to get a gist of what is this software is about and what can be used for. So as I talked here already about the independent variable and dependent variable and all those things, I thought we can move ahead with this particular concept. And I think I'll be showing you the software, how it looks and how you can work out things in this. Please go and if you the software is free for 1 month, I guess the trial is there, so you can download it and you can get this video for this particular session video, and then you can do it on your own, because this is mostly a practical session where I will be showing you how to do the analysis in that particular software. So as we move on, so SPSS almost is a very simple software. Now it gives you a structural equation modeling. It creates a structure, as you can see here. This is a structure. So we have a dependent variable, we have independent variable, and we have so many other variables. Like we saw in the previous uh, sessions. So dependent variable is different from independent variable. Then you have control variable, then you have mediating variable and moderating variable. So many variables we have in research. So all of us, we know, we have studied SPSS already. Almost all of you will know about SPSS, the software which is called SPSS. All of you will mostly know. So SPSS almost is an extension of that software. It's an extension module where it gives you a structure from that variables which you have found out. So you can have confirmatory factor analysis also here in this particular software. So it's just a software which helps you to bring out your research as a model. So this model that you bring out from your research, this model can be patented so that it belongs to you. You can say that this model is mine, so I can patent it. So that is why this particular software is used. So as we move on, in this particular session, we'll be seeing about structural equational modeling and then mediating analysis in that particular structural equational modeling. Now, structural equational modeling is nothing but to find out or to test the hypothesis about the causal relationships between multiple variables. So we'll be testing the hypothesis. As you all know, when you're doing research, you will be taking some variables and then you will frame some particular relationship between them. For example, here for today example, I have taken one of my old studies where I wrote a paper on how YouTube ads affect the behavior of people, the buying behavior of people. Now, for YouTube ads, you will have separate variables. For buying behavior of people, you will have separate variables. Then you will combine both these things together and then see whether actually this is affecting the buying behavior. So today we'll be trying to see how this YouTube ads directly affects buying behavior. And also we'll be testing the same structure with one more mediating variable, which is motivation. So if these positive factors of YouTube ads, is it motivating the people to buy? Directly, whether it is influencing people to buy. What is the effect, direct effect, what is there, and indirect effect, what is there through the mediating variable. This is what we're trying to do today. So this is what structural equational modeling is all about. So it is just creating a structure in order to study the relationship between variables, between different variables, and the effect that they have on the dependent variable. So independent variable is there, the effect that it has on the independent variable, and what the mediating factor plays in this, what the role of mediating factor in this particular model. So this is what is structural modeling. Now to move on, I'll just give a gist of what we discussed already before for those of you who are new. So we have three kinds of variables. There are many kinds of variables, but for this study, we have taken three types of variables. One is the independent variable, the other is the dependent variable, then mediating variable. So the independent variable is nothing but it is not influenced by any other variable, whereas it has the effect of the dependent variable. So here dependent variable is completely dependent on the independent variable. So as I told you in the example, you have YouTube ads and you have buying behavior. So the YouTube ads is the independent variable, whether it has any effect on the dependent variable, which is the buying behavior of people. So this YouTube ads that we see every day, whether is it impacting anything on the buying behavior of people. That is what we will study in a basic structural equational model. Now, here comes the mediator variable, where in this particular study I have taken as an example as motivation. So we'll see whether motivation as a factor, whether it is having influence on the dependent variable, whether it is increasing the effect on the dependent variable, or whether it is decreasing the YouTube ads effect on the dependent variable. So this is what we'll study. So here dependent variable is nothing but it changes. So this changes according to the changes happening in independent variable. Mediating variable is the mediator between these two variables. So this independent variable will have some effect on the mediating variable, and that in case will have an effect on the dependent variable. So this is the structure of what we are going to do today. Now I'll be moving on towards the software and the interface of the software, how it looks like. So before I move on, I just want to show this particular slide for you. Now these are the parameters of Sem model. So like this, what you can see here on the right side, this is how a model looks like, but this is a very complicated model. Just for an example I've taken. This is what a model looks like, and these are the parameters that the model has to satisfy in order for your study to be true, for your study to be a valid study. So it has to satisfy all these parameters. So we'll move on to the software now, and then we'll come back to the presentation so that we can have a better idea. Now I would like to move on towards the SPSS software first. I hope all of you know SPSS software. I hope all of you would have known of this software. Let me open it 1 second. Okay, I hope all of you can see what I've shared. Is it visible in your screens?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So quickly. Fine. Okay. So here, all of you will know this software. I hope so, because previous I checked with Vaidegi ma'am. I think you would have at least had an idea of what the software is about. So this is what SPS looks like. Now you can see here, I just had a questionnaire where I just had asked people about YouTube ads. So if you can go through, I have many factors for the study. It was a big study, but for this particular analysis, for particular session, I have taken only few of these factors to explain to you what is mediating analysis, and then what is Sem modeling. So now if you see here, I have asked questions like whether YouTube ad gives credible source of information, whether it is entertaining, or whether it's providing in-depth information, or whether brand recognition is there in their particular YouTube ads, whether they are recognizing the brand after they have seen that YouTube ad, whether YouTube ad introduces new products, humorous, is it relevant to the videos, is it relatable, it is innovative, is it repetitive. So these factors, if you see, these will be negative factors, whether it is repetitive, whether it is causing distraction, whether it is irritating when it can't be skipped, because unskippable ads are also a thing now. So now then, whether it is causing frequent interruption in your video. So all these things I have asked them questions. Now here, if you see in the data view, I have shown this particular thing. Now the responses were agree, strongly disagree. So this is a very general test which I used for testing of these particular variables. I used Likert scale for this question. Now people have given answers. So they were, I think there were 100 respondents totally. So I hope all of you know how to import the data from Excel file to your SPSS software. I hope all of you know. It is very simple. For example, if you have a Google form, you will have all these questions in your Google form. Then in an Excel file, you will have all these strongly agree, disagree. You have to just copy it and paste it. Before you copy and paste it, you have to change your values here. So here in variable value, I'm just going through this fast because I hope all of you know already this. So here in values, you will change like strongly 1, you will give value 1, you will give strongly agree. value 2, you will give agree. So like that, you will give the 5 Likert scale values. And then when you copy and paste the values here, it will automatically change, and then you can start with the analyzing of data. So here in SPSS, you have so many analysis you have here. Now we are not going to focus on SPSS software. We are going to focus on something which is called SPSS Almost. Now, why I opened this software for you, particularly in the beginning, is because only when you input the data in SPSS, then only it can be analyzed in SPSS Almost, because SPSS Almost is a extended module of SPSS software. So only if you have the data here as this. So I hope all of you know all these things. Please, if you don't know, maybe you can watch the previous videos of this particular 7-day session itself. You could get a better idea. Now, after you put all these data here, after you've inputted all this data, now it's time for us to move on to the software which is called SPSS Almost. I'll just open up the software. Okay. Yeah, I've shared. This is how an SPSS Almost software looks like. So once again, this is an already created model for my study. This is what I've created now. Now it's not an issue. I'll just go back, erase it this again, and then I'll try to prepare a new module again for you from the beginning. Uh, Okay, so now when you install SPSS Almost, it looks like this. This is the blank screen of SPSS Almost. You can go and Google in IBM SPSS Almost. It is there available in Google itself. You can download it from there. It's a very simple process only. You just have to install the setup. The thing is, this particular software is not free. It is, I think it is quite costly, but for your analysis, you can download it for 1 month, or I think 30 days. They give you a trial version. Then also, maybe if you want to extend it, you have to pay. But there is an alternative where you can have 2 or 3 Gmail IDs in order to get that free trial again and again. Or else there are many cracked version also that is available on the internet. I won't suggest it, but if you are able to do that particular cracked version, install it. It is very free for you because I have just installed it. These softwares are quite costly, and then so for that only I'm suggesting cracked version. If you don't know how to do it, please go about with the trial version itself. Now we'll start with the analysis first. So now if you see here, this is the software and this is what it looks like. Now first you go to file and then you go to data files. Now if you click data files, I think if you click data files, this window will open. So file, and then when you click data files, this file will open. Then you double click on this particular file, and then this is the SPSS data copy that I have created. So the previous SPSS data file which I showed you just a few minutes before, this is that file. So if you click open, then click OK, then here in list variables in data set, if you click here, the data will come right here. So a window like this will open for you, which will have all the data that was there in SPSS. So I repeat once again, you click file, data files, then one window will open. There you can go and search for the SPSS data file which you have already created, which your data is there already inside, which you have inputted. This will open this window, and then you can select this option which is there, which is called list variables in data set. Now it will give you all the information here. So all the variables are there in this particular window. Now what we're going to do is we are going to create a particular data set for us, particular structure for us. Now I told you in the beginning itself, I am going to study how YouTube ads is impacting the buying behavior of people. Now here I have something which is called impacts buying behavior. So I have asked a question in the questionnaire whether this particular YouTube ads are impacting your buying behavior. Are you getting impacted by the YouTube ads, and whether are you purchasing based on the YouTube ads? This was a question I asked. So this is one question which had Likert scale, which is one variable which is called buying behavior. Now I am dragging this buying behavior and putting it here. So as you can see here, I have put buying behavior here. So next, as I told you, I am going to take five data or five variables for my particular presentation today, because as this is a very big study, there has to be negative factors and positive factors. Positive factors will affect it positively. Negative factors will affect it negatively. So in order to just be simple about this, I'm going to choose five things which is here. For example, I'm going to choose credible source of information, entertaining, provides in-depth information, and then introduces new products, and then one more pleasing to watch. I'll take five things, five particular variables for the study. You just drag it and put it here like this. Or else what you can do is, so this is wrong, is just clicking and then deleting all these things, this particular function. Now, instead of doing those things, this is just for a basic analysis. You click this option. So a latent variable. I hope all of you can see. If my voice is not audible, if I'm breaking, please tell me in between, ma'am, so that there'll be continuity. So, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So,
Yes, sir.
thank you, sir. So this is this particular option is called a latent variable. Now you click on this option, you will have the small emoji like this. So you click on this. Now this is an unobserved variable. In SPSS software, we have observed variables and we have unobserved variables. Now you can see this is an oval shape. So this is called unobserved variables, and this particular rectangular thing is called observed variable. The difference between unobserved and observed is, observed variables is nothing but the data which we have. So observed variable is where we have created a question and we have got the answer and we have put the responses in the SPSS software, and we have got an observed variable. Now this particular variable is an unobserved variable. Now I'll explain how we can change it to an observed variable. Now if you see here, I took this particular thing and then I pasted it here. It created a oval shape thing for me. Again, I'm going to click one more thing. So here, this particular thing, rectangular thing, is called observed variable. Now I told you in the beginning itself, I'm going to take five things for my study in order to explain to you what SEM analysis is. So I'm going to create five observed variable for this particular study. Now as you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I have created five, and these five things together creates this unobserved variable. So I'm going to name this particular variable as positive factors of YouTube ads. Now again, I'm going to do this data set. So before that, I'll just rotate this to the left side. As you can see here, there is a rotate option. If you go and keep your cursor on it for 2 seconds, it will reveal what that particular function is. As you can see here, this is erase objects, this is move objects. So if you click this, you can move this particular objects up and down. And if you click this, this is a rotating function. Now I've clicked this and I'm rotating this particular thing. It will rotate to 180 degrees. Now again, I'm just going to unclick it. I'm going to move this particular thing. So this particular option is selecting. This is selecting all objects and deselecting all objects. So I'm going to select all objects and I'm going to deselect this one alone. I'm going to move this so that it look like. Let me change this interface option. So if you click on the interface view and interface, you can change this into whatever size you want. For example, if you're writing in a research paper, almost all of us will be writing in A4. So I'm just creating this particular thing into landscape A4. So I'm just turning this particular interface into a bigger one so that it will look bigger. So I just drag this here and then I'll drag this also here. So I hope all of you understood how we got all these structures. So now next what we're going to do is, next we are going to again inputting data from the data set we have. Now, as I told you in the beginning itself, I'm going to have 5 options, 5 variables. So again, I'm going to click this credible source. I'm going to click this data set which I have. I'm going to drag this and put it inside the first box, credible source of information. Again, the second one, entertaining, is there. Again, I'm going to drag this and put it inside the second box. Again, providing that information, then introduces a new product, then pleasing to watch. So all these are 5 positive factors of this particular study. Now all these things combined together will create something which is called, if I'm going to double click on this particular box, this command will open. So I'm going to name this variable. So positive factors, I'm going to give the label positive factors of YouTube ads. So let me just resize all these things so that it will clear for you. So here I have selected all the 5 boxes. I'm going to resize it. So here, if you see, there is the option called change the shape of the objects. I'm going to click on this and I'm going to change the sizes of all the boxes here. So as you can see here, all the boxes size have changed. And then what you can do is you can double click and then you can just click enter so that everything will come under one small box itself. Again, I'm going to click enter here. I'm just changing the orientation of the particular looks of the thing. Now I'm going to deselect everything. I've deselected. Now these things, the small boxes that you can see, you just click on this and then you drag it. You select everything and then you bring it out. Now again, I'll just recall what I have done from the beginning. Now I have inputted my data in SPSS software. I've created a data set. I opened almost and then I clicked on new and then I opened up a template and then I went to view interface properties and then I changed it to landscape. Then what I did was I just clicked on this data set, or else before that I went to file, data files, and then I selected the SPSS files which where I have saved it. Now I have just created an almost software with the data. Now I clicked this option, list variables in the data set. I clicked it. I dragged the dependent variable which I'm going to test the impact buying behavior here. And then I have created, again, I went to this latent variable. I created this particular structure and then we have this particular structure here. Now, let me move on to the next part of the analysis. Now here, again, just to make it look neat. Now here, if you have, we have 5 things which are positive factors of YouTube ads, and whether we are going to see whether it is going to impact the buying behavior of people. Now, to study this very simple software, but very effective also. Now you see here are the many options given here, many options which is given here. We are going to click this arrow, draw paths. So after I click this arrow, I'm just going to click this particular variable and then I'm going to put this arrow here. So what I am telling here is I am going to study the impact of YouTube ads, positive factors of YouTube ads on the buying behavior of people. That is what this arrow means. So now this is done. Now these small circles that you see, these are all errors. So in all research papers, all those things, you have errors. So you have to give a provision for errors. That's what we are trying to say is, my data is not 100% correct, because in all research papers and all, whether if you're going to collect it through Google Forms or you're going to collect it through physical forms, there is a chance of error for all the research gaps. So basically, research is all about satisfying a gap in the literature review. Now here, what I have done is I'm going to give error for all the factors. Now here, these two factors don't have the error function. We have to give that also. Here, if you go unique variable, this option is there. So you are going to click on this option, and there will be a small box like this. If you click on this, you will get one error option for this and one standard error for this. So standard error is nothing but we're just saying the research might have a small provision for error also. So this is nothing very that is not important in this particular thing, but still you have to give provision for error before you start with the analysis. Now I hope all of you understood how we created this particular structure for our research. Now what we're going to do is here, if you go to plugins, if you go to plugins, you can go and see there are name unobserved variables. Now why I am clicking this is because all these variables, these small circles which are errors, I can go and name them separately like this, double clicking on it, and then I can name them S1, standard error 1, standard error 2, I can name them. So instead of naming it separately, what I am doing is I'm just going to plugins, I'm just going to click name unobserved variables. So all these error variables will be named. So error 1, error 2, error 3, error 4, error 5 till 7 it is named. So I hope all of you are following till what has happened till now. Now we have created a particular structure for our SEM model for our study. Now you go here, and then if you can see here something which is called calculate estimates. So before calculating estimates, what we will do is we'll go to analyze properties. Then just like in SPSS software, you will have this particular table. In SPSS, we have in analyze, you have many types of tests you can take. Here, same thing, you have estimation, numerical, bias, output, many options will be there. For mediation analysis, you're going to leave all these things out. You're going to go to output. You're going to click on indirect and direct total effects, then standardized estimates. Now I repeat once again, this particular software, why I am going a little bit fast is because of lack of time. If you take this video and then if you slowly go through it, you'll be able to do this analysis very well. So standardized estimates and indirect total effects. So this is why we are clicking this. I'll tell you later. Now also you please click on Bootstrap. Bootstrap is nothing but again, it is bootstrapping is a function where there might be the output or the variables that you get. It might deviate from your mean values. That is, not everybody will be clicking on the same answers in research. So if you feel that all the respondents in your research are going to click on different answers, you have to create this bootstrap. So bootstrapping is nothing but creating samples so that it can create the sample records of your data set in a unique way or in a useful way. So don't worry about Bootstrap and all, but just click on Bootstrap if you want that your respondents are creating if your respondents are responding in a very different way. If not, you don't have to click on this Bootstrap, but still for safety, you just click on bootstrapping. Then you go to output, standard estimates, indirect estimates. I'm going to close this window. And now we have clicked on what and all we need. Now again, we are going to click on this calculate estimates. This is where it is very important. As you can see here, calculate estimates. Now, if you click on this, it will calculate. One second. This is showing me to save this file. I am going to open up a file which I have already saved. Here, if you see test one mediation, I have already created something like this. So in order for your study, I've created, due to lack of time, I'm just going to show this particular thing. So I'm going to delete this for now. I'm going to delete this factor, motivation factors. Now, as I told you in the beginning itself, I have taken 5 factors, which are positive factors, which is going to impact buying behavior. Now, 5 things are there. I'm going to click on calculate estimates here. So, as you can see, there are some values here, which is given. Now, how we can study these values? What are they trying to tell us? Now, if you go here, there will be something which is called view text. Now you open up this view text, one window will open. So a window like this will open. So in this view text, if you see, there are many things here like estimates, minimization history, bootstrapping, model fit, many things are there. So now we are going to see the estimates. So the estimates, if you see, this positive factors. So in this estimate, there are many tables. This might look from the first thing. If you see these tables, it might look a little bit confusing for you. It's a very simple analysis. You can easily do it. If you do it by hand, you will understand it clearly. Just because I am doing it and looking at it, it might look confusing for you. But still, if you go and do it by yourself, you will easily understand all these things. Now, if you see the estimates, if I've given here if you see the positive factors, what is it impacting, whether it is impacting buying behavior or not. As you can see, it is impacting, the estimate value is 0.817. So there is an impact by the positive factors to the buying behavior directly. Now, if you see, as we all know, p values should be lesser than 0.05 for 5% level and 0.01 for 1% level. So this is a calculation of the estimates p values. How no, if you see the chi-square values, if the p value is lesser than 0.05, we reject the null hypothesis at 1%, 5% level. If it is below 0.001, we rejected the hypothesis at 1% level. As you can see here, this is below 0.001. So that is why it is given 3 stars. So I think if I click it, one window will open. I think it is opening on 1 second. I'll just reshare the window. I just share the almost window itself so that you will get a good idea. It's not coming. Anyways, so if you click on this, there will be a window which is called, which will open up, and then I will tell you why it is like that. What is the actual point of in which it is like that? I think if I do this, okay, fine. Okay, as you can see here, this particular thing, this will open. So here I am clicking this 3 stars. It is telling me that the probability of getting critical ratio is large 4.007. You don't have to worry about it. Is lesser than 0.001. In other words, the regression weight for PF is below 0.001 level, which is significantly different from 0. So what we're trying to tell here is, when the value of the p values go below 0.001, the null hypothesis is rejected and we accept the alternative hypothesis. Now here it is saying that when the value is below 0.001, we see that there is a significant impact of positive factors of YouTube ads on buying behavior. So this is what this particular direct effects tells us. Now we'll move on. We'll see now, this is the basic structure of the research that we have created, the structure that we have created here for SPSS. Now we are going to see how we can come up with a mediating factor. Now I am going to click on data set here, data set. I am going to see my mediating factor, the motivation factor. I'm going to drag this motivation factor and keep it here. So I'm going to place it here, the motivation factor. Now what we're going to do is same thing which we have done already, but we are going to create a new path. So here I have clicked on this path, the arrow. I create one path here to this factor, and then from motivation to buying behavior. I'm creating a no intermediating factor, intermediating path. So now I'm going to create error for same thing that we have did for all these factors. Again, I'm going to click on this calculate estimates. If I click on calculate estimates, I'll again estimate it. And if you can see here, 0.97 impact is happening here, 0.63 impact is happening here, 0.22 impact is happening here. Now, this is not important. We'll move on again to the view text option. If you go here, view text option, you go to estimates. As you can see here, again, the positive factors of YouTube ads, when motivation comes into play, it is not having any effect. Whereas this V19 is the motivation factor. That is the motivation variable. It is having a direct effect. It is having impact on the buying behavior as the p-value is lesser than 0.01. Now I have an interpretation how to write. Now before that I'll show you how to write an interpretation. Now if you see here in estimates on the left side top, you have matrices. Now these three matrices are very important to see what effect our independent variable had on the dependent variable. Now I'm going to click on standardized total effects. Now if you can see here, this PF is the positive factors, BB is the buying behavior. Now PF is having 0.43 effect on buying behavior. Then standardized direct effects, if you see, PF is having 0.477, 0.124 on buying behavior. Then standard indirect effects means when motivation comes into play, it is having 0.349, the impact. Now, how do you write the interpretation for this particular thing? Now, again, if you see standardized total effects, you click on this. Then remember we did bootstrapping. You click on bootstrap, then bias corrected percentile method, then two-tailed significance. I hope all of you know what is a two-tailed significance. It is nothing but significance value. So here, after you have clicked this two-tailed significance, you can see here standardized total effects. That is the direct effect, total effect of positive factors of YouTube ads on buying behavior is lesser than 0.05. Now, the direct effect of positive factors on buying behavior is not significant. It is more than 0.05, so whether it is not having any impact. But standardized indirect effects, if you click, it is lesser than 0.01 itself. 0.05, if you see, total effects is 0.01, so which is lesser than 0.05 only. Here, if you see standard indirect effects, it is lesser than 0.01 itself. So now having this, how do you write the interpretation? So if you go here, if you see here, so this is the.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir. I
Yes,
think the screen is not moving, I think.
Sorry,
Most
ma'am?
of the screen is not moving, I think, sir.
Oh, I am very sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Till from when it didn't move, ma'am?
I think past 3-4 minutes.
Okay. Where they were able to see the values.
It is,
This one is visible, which I opened it. Okay, it is not opening. Okay.
yeah,
Sorry, ma'am. I think.
no problem.
Okay. Is it visible now, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is visible now.
Okay. So this window is just now opening. You didn't see the window before itself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Maybe fine.
Now
Okay.
it is. Yeah,
Okay.
from here, sir.
Okay.
Very sorry. Yeah.
No problem. I'll explain again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So yeah, I'm very sorry. I think I didn't open it. So again, I'll just explain what I have did now. Now this particular window, I just close it. We'll go to Amos again. Here, if you see, we have created this particular thing. We just clicked on estimates, calculate estimates. This particular window opened. And then we have some values here. As you can see here, 0.22, 0.97, all those things are here. These values are here. So now to see whether this is all impacting or not, we have to go here and click on view text. The option, if you can see here, view text. If you click on this window will open. Now you can click on. So if you see notes for model, chi-square minimum was achieved. So all of us know degrees of freedom should be there. Chi-square value should be more than the desired value. So this minimum is achieved means your model is the minimum value for a model to be fit is achieved. Now if you go to estimates, now if you see here, estimates is an option here. Here if you see, we have all these factors, the positive factors effects on buying behavior. Now if you see positive factors, the effect of positive factors on buying behavior is not significant. P-value is more than 0.05. So it is not affecting buying behavior. Whereas if you see V19, this V19 is nothing but the motivation factor, which I added as a mediating variable. So V19 is affecting buying behavior and the value is significant, which is lesser than 0.01. So the lesser than 0.01 means it is having a highly significant value. It is highly significant. So here if you see, this is what I was trying to say. Now to check all these values separately, we are going to go to estimates and click this plus button. Again, you will have matrices. Click on this. You will have standardized total effects, standardized direct effects, standardized indirect effects. Now standardized total effects, if you see, click on this, you have positive factors, impact of it on buying behavior, it is 0.473. Standard direct effect is 0.124. Standardized indirect effect is 0.349. From here, we can understand only the values of impact, but whether it is actually impacting or not, you have to see here in bootstrapping. If you see here in bootstrap confidence here, you click on this, you click on bias corrected percentile method, then you click on two-tailed significance. This two-tailed significance is nothing but the significance values, whether it is significant enough, whether it is impacting enough or not. This two-tailed significance and all you would have studied in the statistics itself, which is a very simple concept. So two-tailed significance, if you click on this, I am going to click on standardized total effects. Now, if you see here, this value, positive factors on buying behavior is lesser than 0.05. So it is impacting at 0.05 level in the two-tailed test. If you click on standardized direct effects, that is the positive factors on buying behavior, it is more than 0.05. So it is not impacting at any level. So this is not impacting. It is not significantly different from zero. It is not impacting. But if I click on standardized indirect effects, it is impacting below 0.00101 level itself, which is much higher than the total effect which we had. This is only 0.05 level. This is 0.001 level, which is having a higher impact. Now, due to lack of time, I'm going to wind up this particular session. Now, before I wind up, so this is how you see whether it is impacting or not. Now, to see whether your model is perfect for fit, your model is valid, you have to go and click on this model fit. There will be many tables here. This table is nothing but you'll have CM and the chi-square value, it'll have the degrees of freedom, it'll have RMR value. So all these abbreviations you can go on Google. Like due to lack of time, I'm just going through this fast. So these values, so NFI value, IFI value, TLI value, CFI value, these are all index. Many index that the people have created for seeing whether a model is fit or not. And then this RM's SEA values, all these values should be in the parameters which I've showed here. This PPT also I'll share with you. It should satisfy this parameters value. One example I'll show. This GFI value should be more than 0.9. So in my particular model, if you see, the GFI value is more than 0.9. So it is 0.959. So it is more. So whether this parameter is satisfied, this particular parameter is satisfied. Like that, you have to see all the parameters, whether it is satisfying all the parameters or not. So if it is not satisfying a parameters, your model is not proper. You have to delete some of these variables in order to make your factors more fit for the study. Now, this is the model that we have built. This is the direct effect. Direct effect, it has 0.82. Indirect effect, it has 0.22, 0.97, and 0.63. How do you write the interpretation? I've created one more slide here. So this is the interpretation, how you can write. So it's a very simple interpretation. As you can see here, I'll just show this side by side. Second. I'm very sorry, I'm taking a few extra minutes. So as you can see here, this matrices which I showed you, matrices is standard, total effects, direct effects, and indirect effects. So total effects, it is second. This particular model here, if you have the total significance value, the p value is 0.011 here. As you can see, it is 0.11. The direct effect, it is 0.11. The total effect, the direct effect is 0.254, which is not significant. Then the standardized indirect effects is 0.004, which is very significant. So these three things are there. Here, these values, the standardized means where did I get it from? Is from this particular diagram. As you can see here, this 0.22, that is the abbreviation of that only, is what I have shown here. So 0.22, the indirect effect. Positive factors, when motivation comes into play, it is impacting in the value of 0.22, which is very highly significant. This 0.625 is nothing but the previous diagram which I showed you, the direct effect which it had. So here 0.82, that is what we have here, 817. The value here, we have rounded off to 0.82. Here, when it is directly impacting, there is an impact when it is directly impacting also, but the effect is significant only. But when motivation comes into play, this is the value of impact goes down, but the significance of the impact is higher, much higher than the total effect. So direct effect, when it is directly affecting, when motivation is here, that can be shown here. Direct effect. This value we don't get, so I'll just take it up. This direct value, this 0.624, when motivation comes into play, it is not having any significant effect on the dependent variable. So I know I just went on a little bit fast in this particular thing, but I hope you can get that video from the organizers, and if you try to understand this particular thing, it will be very useful for you to understand this particular software. So SPSS almost is not just this particular software. SPSS almost is not just creating mediating analysis and just creating Sem model. It is a very huge software which has so much of scope on it. It can create path analysis, it can create a CFAs, you can do SEM and many things, which is depending on your research. So what I would suggest you to do is just first identify variables, what you're going to study, identify the things that you're going to do, identify the factors which you're going to study. Then you first try to learn SPSS software and ARMO software. All these softwares were brought in for us to understand research and do research very easily. So all these things that we do in SPSS, this path analysis, everything we can do manually in Word document itself. All these were there before. Chi-square analysis, all those things you could have done in your manual thing. In Excel file itself we can do. But these softwares are brought in for our help, so that like AI, what we have here, this was brought to reduce our work. So in a click of a button, as you can see here, I've just clicked estimates and it gave me values. So these softwares are brought in to get values in a click of a button. So please make sure you try to learn all these softwares. There are many YouTube videos also were there in particular. I think in YouTube videos are there. In many people have given YouTube videos on SEM analysis and almost softwares, and also SPS analysis functions. Seminars like this is also happening everywhere. So please try to learn this software so that you can make your job easily. And these softwares is very simple. Only thing is that when you see it, it will be a little confusing. But once you are doing it, once you are used to it, it's very simple. It will make your job very easy. So with that, I like to thank the organizer for giving the opportunity. I am very sorry for all the participants because I know this particular thing it will take time. So just to give you a gist of what is happening, I just ran through it quickly. So if you don't understand anything, please go to the video, which this particular recording of the video, and also there are many videos in YouTube also. I hope all of you understood. And I thank you, organizer, for giving me the opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Is there any questions from participant side? Participant can unmute yourself and ask questions.
There is one question in the chat box, sir.
Yes, ma'am. What is it, ma'am?
Why is the arrow?
I think I can use the arrow. Ma'am, the reason why the arrow is pointed towards the opposite direction is because the remaining factors are impacting the other factor. Let me open it 1 second. I'll open up the. I hope it is visible. I hope it is visible, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So if you see here, these arrows which I've showed here, these things are impacting the other thing. This positive factors is impacting the buying behavior. Positive factors is having an impact on the motivation, and motivation is impacting. But here, this particular factor is an unobserved variable, which is nothing but combination of all these variables. That is why these are the input, and this is just a combination. This is not having any impact or nothing like that. Just a combination of all these 5 factors. That is why the thing is directed towards the opposite thing is there. Yeah. Anything else? Any other question?
Yeah, 2 more questions are there in the chat box, sir.
1 second, I'll check now.
Yeah. Is it mandatory to use them in all the thesis? And one more is, do we take standardized regression weights for validity study?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, it is not mandatory for SEM to be used in all the theses because, as I told earlier itself, SEM, SPSS, Excel, any regression, any test that you take, everything is just for your thesis, your project, your topic. If whether it is necessary for your topic, then you have to decide. So SEM analysis is not mandatory in every thesis because nobody is asking SEM analysis. So if your thesis needs it, then you can use it. And the advantage of SEM is you can patent it very easily. Once your thesis is submitted, patenting, all of us, mostly this research is happening here in India. For example, we do research not just in India, in abroad also. We just use it for our publications to strengthen up our resumes. So if you have something like this patenting, in science field, patenting is very easy, but here in our commerce field and our arts field, humanities, it is very hard for you to get a patent. But these fact structures that you create, you can patent it very easily. So for patenting also you can use SEM, but it is not mandatory to use SEM in your thesis. Why we take standard regression wages for validity studies? Because if you go about with the particular example is that is same thing that I've used this bootstrapping. Standardized effects, if you take, it creates validity more. It gives valid data. That is, it creates your study to be more valid, more reliable. That is why we use standardized estimates. Direct estimates we can use, but it is not, how do you say, it is not recommended by the statisticians. It is always better to go about with standardized estimates. How SEM analysis is different from other like correlation? SEM analysis is not different from correlation and regression. We use all these things in SEM analysis also. We use regression in SEM analysis. The values that you see, you could have seen in the estimates, we use that values. But the thing is, it just creates an estimate. It creates a structure. In SPS also, you can do correlation and regression, but you cannot create the structure. So in order for the respondent or the reader, the person who's reading a thesis to understand more clearly, we are just creating a structure. So SEM analysis is nothing but a structure creating software. That's all. It uses correlation and regression also. How can we use this application for a comparative study? The first thing, a comparative study also you can do. It's very easy, very necessary for comparative studies to use SEM. What you can do is first you can learn what is CFA, confirmatory factory analysis. So after doing confirmatory factory analysis, you can confirm your factors. These are the factors you're going to do. After that, you can identify the variables of how many variables are there for this particular study and how many variables for this particular factor. And then you can compare both these things in SEM. But you have to understand, if I see here in this particular study which I have used positive factors and how it is impacting buying behavior. In here, I can compare two things. One is positive factors and the other is the negative factors. But if I don't have a dependent variable, then there is no use of studying comparative study with SEM. If you have a dependent variable, then you can study comparative study in SEM. You can use SEM for comparative studies. Comparison of almost with SEM. Almost is not a separate thing from SEM. SEM structural equation modeling is a part of SPSS almost. Secondary data capital structure. Yeah, you can use if you are able to create the data for this data set in SPSS. You can definitely use that in SPSS, but I don't think you can create data for working capital dividend ratios in SPSS data set. If you can build it there, you can use SPSS almost for that. Qualitative study also you can do. Qualitative study also you can do. It is not just quantitative study. For example, this particular study which I did is a qualitative study only. It is just studying the behavior, consumer behavior of people. So quantitative study only, it is not just necessary for SEM to be done. But the thing is, you have to have data for SEM. You have to build a data first. SEM for capital structure. That's what I've told you. Working capital ratios, if you can build a data set in SPS, it can be used. Books, there are many books in Amazon itself. There are many books for SEM. If you go and Google SEM analysis in Amos, SPS Amos, there are many books. Basic books you can understand, but the one thing that I can suggest to you is you can have these YouTube videos. The advantage of YouTube video is rather than studying books, if you go through YouTube videos, it will give you a hand-on experience of what you can do. Especially if you go attend sessions like this, which the college have organized. It's a very good thing that colleges are organizing these things, because this will give you a hand-on thing. And then there are many full-day sessions where resource persons will come to your college itself, and then maybe you can ask your college to arrange for something like that, where they will have that software in their hand. Our college does these things at times. We have resource persons coming to our college directly. We have a lab where they will be doing the analysis there. We will be doing along with them. So those kind of things also you can do. Books also, many kinds of books are there. There is no specific books that I can suggest, because I learned everything from YouTube only. I think I've answered. Can you give us the cracked version? I can give, ma'am, but the thing is, it's very hard to share the cracked version online, and it is not ethical also. I just told you because it's just, no, we are living in India, and then we don't spend that much on analysis software. That is why you can go on Google. There are many cracked version in Google itself. Comparison of almost with Chandrakant. I can't understand your question. It's asking comparison of almost with SEM, which one is better? I can understand your question, so you can unmute and ask me if you want. I can't understand your question properly. Ma'am, I think that one, except for the one question. Yes, ma'am. Online is there. Cracked version of SEM is online. It is available online. You can download from online. There are many websites which create, but you have to search and find out the cracked version of Almost. SEM is not a software. Almost is the software. Please find the softwares for SPSS Almost, not SEM. Yeah. Qualitative research and quantitative research you can use. The thing is, if you have a data set for qualitative research, you can use it. It is not just quantitative research. You can use it for qualitative and quantitative also. It depends on your data set, the data that you have. For example, here in this set, in the data set which I had qualitative data in the form of quantitative data. That is, I asked questions in Likert scale from the respondents, and I created a data set in SPSS through which I did a study. So yeah, that's how we can do. I don't think any other question is there in. the analysis, it might vary. It might vary after you do CFA. If you do CFA in SPS and then come to almost also, it will vary, because that's what I did in this research. And then I finalized some. I made some changes to my research, and then only I published it. So it has to satisfy all the parameters which I've told you in the PPT. I will share the PPT with ma'am. Any other questions? If you have, you can just put it down, or else you can unmute and ask me. Ma'am, I think.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think participants, we can pass on the questions to us. We can straight away forward to a resource person and we'll get the answer. Rama, you can proceed.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, shall I proceed with vote of thanks, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am, and thank you, resource person. On behalf of the entire PG and Research Department of Commerce, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed head of the department, distinguished faculty members, and dedicated research scholars for their invaluable contribution and unwavering support throughout the 7-day International FDP program. A special note of appreciation goes to our esteemed resource person, Joshua, whose expertise and insights on SEM techniques have enriched our understanding and broadened our horizons. His illuminating sessions have undoubtedly empowered us with practical knowledge and innovative approaches in our academic pursuits. We are deeply grateful to each participant for their active engagement and enthusiastic participation, which has truly made this program a resounding success. Your commitment to excellence and thirst for knowledge inspire us all. As we conclude this enriching journey, let us carry forward the learnings. Once again, I provide sincere thanks to everyone involved for making this international FTP program a memorable and enriching experience. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. And thanks for all the faculties and research scholars as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Ashavadani. Thank you, Joshua, sir. Blessed is the one who is called for the second time.
Thank you for calling.
In a span of 1 month time, you have been invited for the second time. It means that your first time delivery was so successful. And Joshua, sir, we promise that as you suggested, we will have a workshop in our college. Thank you so much for your suggestion, sir.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you for inviting me, ma'am. Thank you for inviting me and making me talk here, because this opportunity which is given. This is the first time I've just went to any particular college for a resource person. So thank you so much for that.
We were just admiring your knowledge, sir. It was really great.
All God's grace, man. Thank you.
Yes, Vaidegi, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am. I can see, a lot of appreciation from the participants, and one of them is asking, ma'am, if possible, do conduct a program online with Joshua, sir. A lot of fans are there, sir, including me, and it was a very eye-opener session for us. Thank you so much, Joshua, sir. You are wonderful. Fantastic. I think I have to find more words to appreciate you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Big words coming from you. Thank you, ma'am. I think people are asking for my mail ID and my contact. I'll share that PPT with you, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So participants, definitely we will share a contact number and email ID of sir, and also the recording.
Thank you,
ma'am. Unica, ma'am, we have announcements, no, ma'am?
Yes, Vaidegi, ma'am. Please kindly go ahead with the announcement, ma'am.
Ma'am, with your permission, we are announcing this. Dear participants, as per the schedule, our international speaker, that is on 16th, will be swapping his time tomorrow because of technical and other issues from Oman. So tomorrow again, we are going to meet, and it is our 5th day FTP program tomorrow. So resource person from Oman will meet us online the same time tomorrow. and 15th and 16th. So instead of winding up the 7-day FTP or 17th, we have 1 day early. We are just tapping. So Saturday previously it was a holiday, but now it is not a holiday. So tomorrow we have a program. So it is our international speaker, resource person is here. So kindly join in, and we will give you the link on time, like every day what we are posting. And thank you so much for your continuous cooperation and the support. Yes, Unika ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. So there is a small change in the schedule. Only the one speaker, we are just preponing him because of his schedule. Participants, please do join tomorrow on time. Don't miss the international speaker. He is joining from Oman. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all. Kindly fill the feedback link, and which will not be posted in the group. It will be posted only in the link. So kindly copy and fill the form and post it before you leave the group. We will wait for a couple of minutes, Selama ma'am, then we'll wind up because many of the participants are still here. We request all the participants to copy the link.
Ma'am, I have already posted, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Shall we wind up, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.